The airlock door hissed open, and Lieutenant Adam Rivers stepped onto the surface of Xanthi, a lush green planet located on the fringes of human-explored space. The gravity was a gentle reminder that he was no longer on Earth, slightly lighter but still familiar. Adam had been chosen for this mission because of his unique qualifications, an expert in xenobiology and cultural anthropology, equipped with the mental and physical stamina required for deep space assignments. But there was more to his mission than scientific exploration. Xanthi was inhabited by the natives, a humanoid species with a sophisticated society, rich in traditions and fiercely protective of their land and customs. The unified Earth government had been in negotiations for years, trying to establish a permanent human presence on Xanthi. The sticking point was always the same. The natives required a bond of flesh and spirit, a marriage to integrate any would-be settlers into their society. Standing on the edge of the Podor forest, Adam scanned the horizon, the towering canopies painting stark silhouettes against the 3 moons of Xanthi that hung low in the sky. It was here, in the heart of this alien wilderness, that he would meet his future, as dictated by the treaty terms Earth had agreed to. Rivers, remember, you're not just here to survive, you're here to integrate. Commander Zara's voice crackled through his communicator, a stern reminder of his duty. I understand, Commander, Adam replied, adjusting the strap of his field pack. As he made his way through the dense undergrowth, the sounds of the alien forest grew louder. The chirps, howls, and rustles of unknown creatures formed a symphony that was both eerie and mesmerizing. His destination was the village of Harath, a 3-day trek to the west where he was to meet his designated partner, Lyra, a native known for her connection to both her people and the land. The journey was not just a physical challenge, but a psychological one. Adam was acutely aware of the weight of his mission. Every step he took was a step towards a bond that was both a personal and a political bridge. The idea of marrying someone from an alien culture was daunting, yet he couldn't help but feel a thrill at the unknowns that lay ahead. On the second night, as he camped under the shadow of a giant Solara tree, he reflected on his upcoming marriage. It wasn't just about diplomatic relations or survival. It was about truly understanding and embracing a whole new world. Lyra wasn't just a key to living on Xanthi. She would be his partner in every sense, and their union would symbolize the potential for a lasting peace between humans and natives. As the first light of dawn broke through the canopy, Adam packed up his camp and continued his trek. He had studied the language and customs of the natives for months, but theory was no substitute for the reality of face-to-face interaction. Each step brought new scents, sights, and sounds, each more alien than the last. Finally, on the 3rd day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of purple and gold, Adam arrived at Harath. The village was a series of interconnected tree houses, built high in the massive trees, a testament to the natives' reverence for nature and their engineering prowess. As he entered the village, all eyes were on him. The natives of Harath were cautious, but not unwelcoming. Their faces, so similar to human ones yet marked by subtle differences in the eyes and skin, watched him with a mixture of curiosity and reservation. Lyra stood in the center of the village waiting for him. She was striking, her skin a deep green, her eyes an intense shade of violet, and her hair flowed like a river of silver moonlight. She wore the traditional garb of her people, which shimmered softly in the fading light. "Welcome, Adam Rivers of Earth," she said in perfect, albeit accented English. "We have much to discuss and more to understand about each other." Adam took a deep breath, steadying his nerves. "Thank you, Lyra. I am here to learn, to share, and hopefully, to belong." As the villagers gathered around, a new chapter of his life began, under the watchful eyes of Xanthi's moons. The challenges ahead were numerous, but for Adam, the journey was just beginning. As the days melded into weeks, Adam found himself deeply immersed in the rituals and routines of Harath. Every morning began with the AWA ceremony, a communal gathering where the villagers shared visions and dreams they believed were messages from the forest spirits. Lyra explained that understanding these messages was vital for maintaining the balance of their ecosystem and their community. During one such ceremony, Adam experienced his first true connection to Xanthi. As he drank the bitter AWA brew, images flashed before his eyes, visions of towering trees bending and swaying, not from wind, but from a deeper rhythmic pulse. He saw creatures, both familiar and bizarre, moving in harmony. When he shared his vision, Lyra smiled warmly, nodding her approval. "You are beginning to see with the eyes of the forest," she told him later as they walked along a vine-laden path that wound through the village. "It's rare for outsiders to connect so quickly." Encouraged by Lyra's words, Adam threw himself into learning the native language, which was filled with tonal nuances and clicks that changed meanings in subtle but significant ways. His efforts did not go unnoticed. The villagers began to warm to him, involving him in their daily activities more earnestly. One afternoon, while helping to repair one of the tree houses, Adam slipped and a villager named Talon quickly steadied him. The man's stern expression softened into a smile. "You have the spirit of a Harathian, Adam, but watch your steps," he joked, and the others laughed. As his relationship with Lyra deepened, so did his understanding of the delicate intricacies of their culture. Lyra shared stories of the Starweavers, her ancestors who believed they could influence the very fabric of night through their woven tapestries. "We believe everything is interconnected, Adam. The stars, the forest, us. When we weave, it's more than art. It's a way of reshaping destiny," Lyra explained one evening under the luminescence of Xanthi's twin moons. Her words resonated with him, echoing the interconnectedness he had started to feel. It wasn't just about survival or diplomacy anymore. It was about truly being part of something greater. The turning point came during the Harvest Festival. Adam was invited to participate in the Dance of Renewal, a sacred tradition that celebrated the cycle of growth and rebirth. As he danced alongside Lyra, following the complex steps and rhythms passed down through generations, he felt a shift within himself and in the eyes of the watching natives. After the dance, an elder approached him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You have danced the steps of our ancestors, Adam Rivers. You are no longer a stranger to us." Feeling a sense of accomplishment and acceptance, Adam found his thoughts drifting to earth, to the life he had left behind. He realized he no longer viewed his stay on Xanthi as a mission. It had become his life, a life intertwined with Lyra and her people. Late one night, lying in the treehouse that he now shared with Lyra, Adam listened to the sounds of the forest, the calls of nocturnal creatures, the whisper of the wind through the leaves, and Lyra's gentle breathing beside him. It all affirmed his new reality. He was no longer just a visitor on Xanthi. He was a part of its ongoing story, a story not written in the stars, but woven through the lives and traditions of its people. The months on Xanthi rolled by, each day enriching Adam's understanding of the intricate web of life on the alien planet. But with understanding came responsibility, and he soon found himself involved in a crisis that would test his commitment to his new home. A blight had begun to affect the Solara trees, the lifeblood of Harath. These trees were not only homes but also a crucial part of the ecosystem, linked to the health of the land. The leaves were withering, and their vibrant energies were fading. The elders convened, and Lyra's voice was fraught with concern as she translated their debates for Adam. "The Solara are crying tears of sap, and their roots are sick," one elder said. "We must find the cause, or we risk losing them." Adam proposed a scientific analysis using equipment from his ship, merged with the traditional knowledge of the natives. This interdisciplinary approach was initially met with skepticism, but desperation led to acceptance. Working together with Lyra and other native specialists, Adam set up sensors and took samples, diving deep into the biochemistry of the afflicted trees. Through their combined efforts, they discovered a parasitic fungus, previously unknown to the natives, but recorded in galactic botanical databases. It thrived in the increased humidity of the recent unusually long rainy season, a side effect, they theorized, of recent minor asteroid impacts on the planet's atmosphere, which had gone largely unnoticed. Armed with this knowledge, Adam and the village's herbalists worked to create a fungicidal treatment from local plants, guided by the elders' wisdom of natural remedies. They treated the infected trees, and slowly, week by week, the Solara began to recover. The village celebrated their victory over the blight with a feast, and Adam felt a profound sense of pride and belonging. His integration into the community deepened as he became involved in planning a network of observational outposts designed to monitor environmental changes and prevent future crises. Lyra supported his initiatives, seeing them as a bridge between her people's ways and the technological insights Adam brought from Earth. One evening, as they observed the rejuvenated Solara trees, Lyra turned to him, her eyes reflecting the starlit sky. "You have brought us new ways to look at the stars and the soil. You are no longer just my partner. You are a guardian of Harath." Her words echoed in his mind as they walked back to the village. The path illuminated by bioluminescent plants and the soft glow of the moons overhead made the forest seem ethereal. Adam realized how much he had changed. The isolation he had once felt in his scientific pursuits on Earth was replaced by a deep, interconnected existence on Xanthi. But as he prepared for bed that night, an urgent message from Earth broke the serene rhythm of his new life. The government was planning a second, larger wave of colonists, motivated by reports of Xanthi's potential resources. The message was clear: prepare Harath for integration, or the village would face inevitable cultural upheaval. As he lay next to Lyra, the weight of his dual allegiances pressed upon him. He was now a bridge between two worlds, and his next actions would either strengthen or shatter the trust he had worked so hard to build. The serene night now seemed charged with an impending storm, and Adam knew the challenges ahead would require all the wisdom and diplomacy he could muster. Adam's revelation of Earth's new colonization plans cast a shadow over his relationship with the natives of Harath. He knew he must tread carefully, balancing the interests of his home planet with the welfare and sovereignty of his new one. He decided to discuss the situation openly with Lyra and the village elders, believing that transparency would foster trust and possibly lead to a solution that could benefit both parties. The meeting took place under the grand canopy of the Council Solara, its vast branches spreading like protective arms around the gathered group. The elders listened intently as Adam explained the situation, his voice steady but tinged with concern. "The people of Earth see the recovery of the Solara trees and the stability of your ecosystem as a sign of untapped potential. They want to explore more of Xanthi for settlement and resource extraction," Adam disclosed, watching the elders exchange uneasy glances. Lyra, sitting beside him, her expression a mask of calm, finally spoke, her voice carrying a weight that resonated with all present. "And what do you propose, Adam? How do we protect our lands without turning away the needs of your people?" Adam had thought long about this. "We establish a controlled collaboration zone, limited areas for Earth scientists and settlers, under strict regulations crafted together with the Harathians. We can turn this into an opportunity for cultural exchange and technological advancement without compromising the integrity of your traditions and ecological balance." The proposal sparked a heated debate among the elders, some arguing that any concession was a step towards losing their cultural identity, while others saw the pragmatic need for compromise and mutual benefit. After several hours of discussion, they reached a consensus to explore Adam's proposal further, setting up a committee that included both Harathians and a few selected Earth representatives. Adam and Lyra were appointed as liaisons, responsible for ensuring that both sides adhered to the agreed principles. In the weeks that followed, Adam worked tirelessly, facilitating discussions between the Earth representatives and the Harathian committee. They drafted a treaty outlining the scope of the collaboration zone, the extent of resource sharing, and the cultural exchange programs that would allow Earth settlers to learn about Harathian ways under guided supervision. Meanwhile, the impact of the impending Earth delegation began to manifest within the village. Some of the younger natives were curious and excited about the technology and knowledge the settlers could bring, while the older generation remained suspicious and protective of their ancestral ways. Lyra remained a pillar of strength and insight, bridging her people's traditions with Adam's proposals. One evening, as they reviewed the draft of the treaty, she leaned over to him and whispered, "You are creating a new weave in the tapestry of our stars, Adam. Let's hope it holds strong." The treaty was finally ratified, and the first group of Earth settlers arrived, their eyes wide with curiosity and a touch of apprehension. Adam and Lyra greeted them at the landing site, where the Earth ship touched down softly on Xanthi's soil, its engines humming a low, resonant farewell to the stars. The initial days were filled with structured interactions, tours of the village, and workshops on Harathian culture and ecology. Adam noticed the settlers' awe as they walked through the lush landscapes and participated in the AWA ceremonies. Their respect for the natives' connection to their environment grew, and a cautious optimism began to take root. One night, as the twin moons cast a serene glow over the village, Adam and Lyra stood outside their home, looking at the stars. The integration was far from complete, and challenges loomed on the horizon. But in that quiet moment, they allowed themselves to hope. Together they had forged a new path, one that might just sustain the delicate balance between two very different worlds. As the integration progressed, the dynamics within Harath began to shift subtly but perceptibly. The Earth settlers, initially cautious and reserved, started to adapt, taking genuine interest in the Harathian way of life, but their presence inevitably brought change. The Harathians, for their part, found themselves reassessing their traditions in the light of new possibilities brought by technology and the exchange of ideas. Adam observed these transformations with a mixture of pride and concern. He noted how some of the younger Harathians began using Earth tools and technologies, integrating them into their daily tasks. A group of them had even started a project with some of the settlers to improve water irrigation using a combination of Earth technology and Harathian ecological techniques. One day, during a community meeting in the village square, a young native named Kieran, who had become particularly adept at using Earth technology, proposed a new initiative. "We can enhance our crop yields with these methods without harming our lands," he explained enthusiastically, showing diagrams and data on a portable display unit. The proposal sparked a vigorous debate. Some elders resisted, worried that too much reliance on Earth technology might dilute their heritage. "We must not lose ourselves in these new ways," one elder voiced out, his tone firm and filled with unease. Lyra, sensing the growing tension, stood and addressed the crowd. "Let us find balance," she urged. "We can take in new knowledge and still hold to our roots. This is the essence of growth." Her words calmed the crowd, and Adam felt a renewed sense of admiration for her leadership. It was her ability to bridge her people's past and present that had made the integration as smooth as it had been so far. Meanwhile, as part of the treaty, Adam had been conducting joint research with both Harathian and Earth scientists to study the local flora and fauna, aiming to establish a comprehensive database. During one such research trip into the deeper parts of the forest, the team came across a species of luminescent fungi that had significant medicinal properties. "This could be groundbreaking," remarked Dr. Elise Tanaka, one of the Earth scientists, as she examined the glowing specimen. "It has properties that could revolutionize how we treat radiation sickness." But with the discovery came a dilemma. The fungi were sacred to the Harathians, used in many of their spiritual rituals. The potential benefits were enormous, but so were the risks of exploitation. Adam knew that how they handled this situation could set the tone for future interactions between the two cultures. After discussing with Lyra and the elders, it was agreed that the fungi would be harvested in limited quantities, strictly supervised by both Harathian shamans and Earth scientists. The agreement was a testament to the growing trust and respect between the two groups, but also a reminder of the delicate balance they had to maintain. As the seasons changed on Xanthi, the first harvest of the enhanced crops proved to be a success, and the medicinal research on the fungi showed promising results. These successes brought a sense of accomplishment and optimism that further strengthened the bonds between the settlers and the natives. However, one evening, as Adam and Lyra sat watching the sunset from their home, a transmission from Earth brought unsettling news. The stellar dynamics around Xanthi's solar system were changing, potentially affecting the planet's climate. The news was a stark reminder of the fragility of their existence on this alien world. "We face another test," Lyra said quietly, her eyes reflecting the fading light. "But we face it together, with all the knowledge and strength we have shared. Adam nodded, squeezing her hand. Together, he agreed, his mind racing with the implications of the stellar changes. They had navigated cultural and ecological challenges together. Now they would face this new celestial challenge as one, their unity forged in the trials of the past and their hope set on the future. The changing stellar conditions posed a significant challenge, and it catalyzed a unification of efforts on an unprecedented scale between the Earth settlers and the Harathians. The news had sparked a flurry of activity, with scientists from both worlds collaborating intensely to analyze the potential impact on Xanthi's climate and ecosystem. Adam played a pivotal role, coordinating the research teams and facilitating the integration of Earth's advanced technology with the Harathians' profound environmental knowledge. They set up monitoring stations at various points on the planet, using sensors to track atmospheric changes and predictive models to forecast the environmental impacts. As the data poured in, it became clear that the changing gravitational forces caused by the stellar shifts would likely lead to increased volcanic activity and shifts in ocean currents. This could disrupt the delicate balance of Xanthi's ecosystem that the Harathians had maintained for centuries. We must prepare for possible evacuations and create safeguards for our most vulnerable areas, Adam explained during a joint assembly. His voice was calm, but carried an urgency that mirrored the critical nature of their situation. The community responded with a blend of determination and ingenuity. Under Lyra's guidance, the Harathians began to reinforce their settlements, using both traditional techniques and new materials provided by the Earth settlers. Meanwhile, Earth engineers worked alongside Harathian builders to devise shelters that could withstand volcanic ash and seismic shocks. In parallel to the physical preparations, cultural bonds continued to deepen. The shared threat brought the communities closer, and a series of cultural exchange programs flourished. Earth children learned Harathian crafts and stories, while native children were intrigued by Earth science and technology. During this time of intense preparation and cooperation, Adam and Lyra often worked late into the night, their discussions sometimes veering into deeper reflections on their shared future. One evening, as they stood overlooking the village, Lyra turned to Adam. "Whatever comes, we have changed each other," she said, her voice a soft blend of resolve and melancholy. "For better or worse, our paths are intertwined with the fate of this planet." Adam looked at her, his heart swelling with a mixture of love and responsibility. "Together, we've built something that can withstand the tests of nature or fate. No matter what happens, that means something profound." As the months passed, the preparations proved their worth. When the first minor quakes hit, followed by a significant volcanic eruption on the western continent, Xanthi was ready. The shelters held firm, and the evacuation protocols were executed flawlessly, with no loss of life. The reinforced structures and new irrigation systems mitigated most of the ecological damage, preserving the integrity of the forest and its creatures. Following these events, a great celebration was held in the village of Harith, not just in relief, but in a profound acknowledgement of their collective strength and unity. The festival lasted for days, filled with music, dance, and stories that blended elements from both cultures. As the celebrations drew to a close, Adam and Lyra took a quiet walk through the recovering forest. The air was filled with the fresh scent of rain mixed with the earthy aroma of the forest floor. The crisis had passed, but the work of building and maintaining their joint society continued. "We are not just surviving, we are thriving together," Lyra remarked, her hand in his as they walked. "This is our legacy." Adam nodded, his eyes scanning the vibrant forest around them, a testament to their resilience. "A legacy of two worlds, brought together by necessity, but bound by respect and love. Let's keep weaving this story, Lyra." As the twin moons of Xanthi rose in the sky, casting a gentle light over the planet, Adam and Lyra looked towards the future, ready to face whatever it might bring, with the strength of their united peoples behind them.